Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1679 of our daily content grind. Today it is, once again, time to talk leaks. A lot of them, major ones. So, I keep telling you, it's never just a trickle. When leaks happen, it's a burst. And here we go, here is yet another burst of the dam. Now this one, we're going to cover twofold because we're actually talking two different lines. A capsule line from Walmart, as well as the brand new upcoming Mainline for 2027. So we got a lot of really exciting stuff in this batch, okay? So keep in mind with the capsule lines, with any of these computer listings, they all come from JT Prime, who's been a very, very credible source of all this info in the years past. But we've seen with previous listings, things can get shuffled and outright canceled like the previous capsule line for Walmart was. Yes, I'm still salty about that Sky Warp. I'm never not going to be salty about that Sky Warp. But let us discuss. So, the capsule line itself is called Megatron Rising Resistance. And the idea here is to tell a story of ragtag Autobots put together in order to thwart a renewed and rising Megatron. That is because the first wave of the new Mainline is very Decepticon heavy. So this is kind of a counterpoint, so there's Autobots around as well. That said, we're starting with a Decepticon. We're getting a brand new Viper. Viper is one of the retools we have for Power Glide. And with Power Glide getting a brand new toy that just started getting sighted in the US, this makes perfect sense for another retail use of the mold. Now, eventually, we'll probably get Bad Boy to complete our GoBot set from the e-hobby, but for now, this is also a pretty good reuse. Turning him into a Cobra Rattler is actually a really, really cool homage, and it'll probably do better than most of the G.I. Joe crossover toys, so there is that. It was popular the first time they did it, no surprise they're doing it again. It's just a really good shout, and a really good somewhat obscure retool to pull. So yeah, gonna be cool. Now, this one's gonna be two ways you could take it. So the listing is for Rook, but we don't know which Rook. So while JT has indicated identity of molds for some of these toys, this one we don't know. Not for sure. So it could be a brand new update to the Combiner War one. Similar to Alpha Bravo, Rook turned out to be a fan favorite figure. He's one of my favorite figures from Combiner Wars. I think he's a really cool design and a really cool toy. And yeah, I kind of wouldn't mind getting another one. So with Alpha Bravo being a thing, this is potentially possible. However, a capsule line is mostly made of retools and repaints, and there really isn't a mold that's going to suit this particular character. They'd have to make him from the ground up, which is kind of a big ask for something that obscure. I think more likely, we're going to see BotCon Rook. They like throwing in the occasional BotCon exclusive here and there as a brand new toy. Would not surprise me in the least if we got to see that brand new Windcharger mold redone like this. It's a little bit close to Tailgate, just a little bit, just, swapping, it's like basically just like lightening up the gray enough and you basically have Tailgate again, at least in vehicle mode. Point being, it could go either way, but my money is actually on this Rook, simply because it seems like the easier bet and the easier one to go to. Now, those are the only two deluxes for the capsule. It's weird that the capsule only has two deluxes, but it has three, count them, three Voyagers. And the first one of interest is Scoop. Now, this one we actually know. This one is a retool of 86 Scrapper. And that's not a bad shout, because they are kind of designed in a very similar manner. You could get away with that. But the fun part about that is it means you can actually recreate a little bit of IDW Scoop. Considering we have IDW characters appearing in Studio Series, it wouldn't surprise me if this version of Scoop actually was more akin to the IDW design. That way it makes even more sense when he's still compatible with your 86 Devastator and you can recreate those scenes from the comic book. That would be a really cool little thing if they leave the compatibility in. We don't know yet, though. My only hope really here is that he still has both of his Target Master partners because, he is like a smaller Voyager, because he has to be a foot. So yeah, I could see him still having room in the budget for those pieces, especially they like to just repaint ones they have lying around, frankly. Target Master accuracy, not a high priority. But we'll see. I am looking forward to this one just for how weird it could end up being. Now, the next listing is for the name Skyfire. And again, at first we didn't have any qualifiers. So the first thing I thought of was, are we actually getting the things that I have always wanted? Like big figures in smaller sizes, so I don't have this enormous thing taking up shelf space and I can keep it on my desk and enjoy a character like Jetfire that I really, really liked as a kid, that I would really, really love to have a much more playable, friendly version. No. According to JT Prime, it is a purple and gray jet, which means it's actually RID Skyfire, and that is incredibly confusing to me. Now, I do know that there are people on the Transformer design team that are really big on machine wars, so it doesn't surprise me that they try to work some of that in, like we're getting the Starscream. But this is weird. Like, I can't imagine. I think there's enough differences that I couldn't imagine him being like a retool of like the 86 Seeker. Not that I think you'd want to, that you're going to get so many uses out of that mold without any retooling whatsoever. So is this a brand new mold that just happens to, like they're wanting to like eventually make into Machine Wars molds? I don't know. It's just weird. Like, this is a non-show character, something that was done as a package fill-in for RID. They had to get, like remember, in the RID toy line, 2001, they just had to get Toe Line out, who was at the time like a $5 figure, in a line that did not have a $5 price point. So instead, at least not to this scale, scale gets a little bit iffy. So instead, they decided, hey, we're going to throw in another figure, sell them as a deluxe, as this weird deluxe 2-pack. So we do have a modern Toe Line. This was packed in with him. Okay, that's a weird bit of sense, I guess. I don't like the modern Toe Line because it's the Mad Max look, but it is what it is. So this one's super weird. This one is super weird, but it opens some interesting gates if it really is the RID version. It's crazy to me. Now, talk about opening up some potential gates. Check this out. The next Voyager, Slash. We're actually getting a Voyager class Dinobot Slash, which will scale with your 86 Dinobots. That's incredibly cool. So not only do you get a female Dinobot at a size that isn't a lame core class figure, but it's a Raptor being added to the Dinobots at the scale you want them. So not only is this super cool, because it is just a really, really cool design and just really cool to add, a little bit of female presence to the Dinobots and a very popular dinosaur, no less. But also, I gained just that much hope. Just that slight little bit of hope that this means I just might get Scar. If they do Slash, there's a chance of Scar, and I can have my big transforming Ankylosaurus that I have been dreaming of since childhood. And again, these capsule lines get my hopes up for my dreams to come true. So, we'll We saw how that went last time. Okay, so really exciting one. Really cool design. Really cool announcement. And then to wrap it up, we do have a leader class being released here, but it's just Snarl. So unless they pull a really weird fast one and it's like Beast Machine Snarl for some odd reason as a new mold that's at a leader class, it's probably just a rerun of the Dinobot. We got a rerun of just about every Dinobot at this point because all of them ended up being super popular and eventually hard to find. So not a big surprise here. But yeah, that's your capsule line. There is going to be a multi-pack as well, but we have no idea what is in the multi-pack. It is just listed multi-pack with no indicators whatsoever. So, no clue. No clue. You will know about the same time I know. Now, before we get into the new main line, we need to discuss Generation Selects. Selects has been far more quiet than I really expected it to be. It used to be the bastion of the stuff that felt BotCon-esque. The really weird retools, repaints, the super niche releases that only a few people would really be interested in, but it's cool that they did it. But we have seen them back off from Selects pretty heavily. But we do have a new one listed. And it's a Titan, and it's one we kind of saw coming. We're getting Energon Tidal Wave, which is probably the one that we should have guessed happened. So when they did the Titan Tidal Wave, we all kind of sat back and wondered, which is going to be the repaint? The toy accurate or the Energon accurate? They have gone Energon, and that is absolutely the right choice. On top of, not only is it just another cartoon accurate deco for Tidal Wave, but also it's a really cool one. I think I want to say when this toy dropped, like everyone was down for this repaint. Like the electric Energon scars going through his arms and his torso, the translucent green and white and gold is like, it's just such a cool color scheme to play off of, and it works well. Now, at this size, you're not going to see translucent green. He's going to probably be a neon green plastic to make up for that. Wouldn't, and just out of stability and, solidity. No, that doesn't work. He's not going to be fragile. Let's put it that way. Now, the big concern here is the original one's knees didn't work all that well and could potentially break on you if not treated right. So we're going to see if that got fixed in this release. I kind of hope so, because I really like this toy, but I also like my toys to not be time bombs. So I know a lot of people were looking forward to that one. We're getting it. Now, we move on to the successor to Age of the Primes. And this one is going to end up being called Age of Evolution. And the Age of continuing on makes sense, because we did that with War for Cybertron. We did that for Legacy. But speaking of Legacy, didn't we just use Evolution? Didn't we just use Evolution for one of the series names? I don't know. Hasbro gets on this thing where they just have to reuse words all the time, and it makes things very annoying to keep track of and differentiate. Also, we as Transformer fans kind of like to abbreviate so that we're not typing a million things on these really super long pedantic names. So like, we don't type out Rise of the Beast. It's ROTB, right? Well, now we have Age of Evolution and Age of Extinction. So that doesn't really work. We'll figure it out. We usually do. Point being, like I said, this one is Decepticon heavy. The first name is Barricade. Now, we don't know which Barricade it's going to be. Once again, we are just kind of like grasping at straws on that one. So we're kind of assuming, I kind of assume it's going to be like G1 style where it's, it's a black prowl, but we did black prowl already. It's on the screen in front of you. They could be rerunning the figure and just filling out the first wave, but that's a really, really lame way to start a brand new toy line. So what else? Like, it could be the evergreen design, because that is a nice design, or it could be the thing that we've been talking about for years, which is to G1ify the movie designs. And this would be more akin to Movie Barricade, but with the more, I wouldn't say simplistic, but more solid and more like put together look of a G1 style toy. So there's that potential as well. We don't know. It's just listed as a Barricade for now. We start getting interesting with names like Nightbird. And I would really love for this to be something unique to Nightbird and just let her be on her own, let her do her own thing. I have a very, very sneaking suspicion that it's just going to be an 86 RC retool, because generally Nightbird is just an RC retool when they do her. I really want to be wrong on that, because it seems too easy. I would love for her to do something all her own. Imagine if she did something that made her, I don't know, a bird. Crazy thought. No, I know, like, even though she's not technically a Transformer, like, it's one of the rare times when G1 had any kind of female robot, so it is a standout for fans, and she has kind of become like a de facto female Decepticon, so we'll let it go. We'll let it happen. Just hoping for something a little bit more original than just, oh hey, it's RC but with a new robot underneath her car shell. We got one more deluxe, and this one is a complete mystery to us because it's a brand new name. The name is Collapse, which is an interesting name. Like, it's not a name that like instills confidence. So we don't know who it is, what it is. It might be the next iteration of like an Iser style gimmick, but we really have no way of knowing. It's just the name is Collapse, and make of it what you will. So if anyone can figure out if that is a temporary name, if there is like some random Decepticon that could be in this series that, had a name similar to that in G1 or somewhere else, but now we have to swap out a name, whatever. It is what it is. So Collapse. We'll sit and wait. Let's step it up to Voyager, shall we? And again, from here on out, it's nothing but just fan-pleasing releases that a lot of us have been waiting for a long time. We start with animated Slipstream. Now, at first, I would have thought this probably would have been an 86 retool, because that's what we've been doing with animated. They're just kind of mostly retools of other designs outside of like Optimus gets to be his own thing. Bumblebee gets to be his own thing, but Ratchet has to be someone else. Bulkhead, well, is technically Prime, but yeah, he also is like a pre-tool for other characters. Prowl, yeah, he was retooled from Chromia. Things like that. Like, so this one, I was originally thinking like, okay, the 86 mold is slender enough to get away with that. But the fact that it's specifically stated to be animated Slipstream actually has me wondering, did they actually do what they should have done a long time ago and actually give her her own toy based on her original design? Because again, we're talking about a character who, for some, is the de facto female Decepticon. Certainly one of the most popular ones for that role. So we really do need a proper one. That's not just a retool of a Windblade or something. I am very much anticipating this. Very much anticipating this. Just getting some idea of like exactly what it's going to be is going to be exciting, as I feel like it's going to be a brand new mold. Now, here's another one, super exciting. Been asking for this for a long, long time. The next Voyager in the wave is G2 Megatron. Now, This is really exciting because there really is nothing else, is there? Like, we don't have any kind of like Voyager tank transformer that looks like this Megatron right now. The Siege and Earthrise figures have already been done to death, and the Earthrise version has already had this color scheme, meaning the only thing this could possibly be is a brand new mold that actually is designed to look like G2 Megatron. And that is something I have been wanting for a long, long time. I really liked this design of Megatron. Specifically, I like the design that's here on the comic book page. I had the toy as a kid, but like even as a kid, I'm like, half of a tank is sticking out of his chest. That's no fun. It looks really weird that way. So truncate it down, focus the robot mode being the priority, and just make him a really cool looking Megatron. Like, make him pop from those Marvel comics. You know, specifically the G.I. Joe comics, like right there, this panel that I'm seeing right now, that's the best G2 Megatron ever looked. I want that G2 Megatron. It's an exciting one. But funny enough, like another Transformer G.I. Joe crossover, technically, because he debuted in a G.I. Joe comic. So, looking forward to that one a lot. Looking forward to possibilities on that one. Like, a G1 style repaint is inevitable. He'll end up looking like a Cyber Battalion Megatron. But you also have the potential of a RID Bludgeon. If we're doing Skyfire, we can do Bludgeon. What if we do a reverse convoy? That would be crazy to get a modern reverse convoy. A lot of extra engineering. Don't know if they'll actually do that, but oh my god, would it be cool. Here we go. Here's the leader classes. Here's the leader classes. We have Scorponok. And just like Skyfire, it's one beat short of exactly what I wanted, which is a G1 Scorponok that's small enough to fit on a desk and not be some gigantic thing I have to wrestle just to play with. No, 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 no. I don't get to have a Marvel comic Scorponok. Not yet. I get to have a brand new modern Energon Scorponok. Now that's a really cool design, but it's an extremely colorful design. I'm really wondering how Hasbro plans on making such a colorful figure with modern budgets. Granted, the engineering of the toy is not the most complicated. If we're being real here, the toy is pretty simplistic as far as being a Transformer goes. So, engineering-wise, he's not going to, like, blow you away. But that does mean there's plenty of room to make him the way we wish he was originally. Better shoulders, better elbows, you know, like actual, you know, posability, ankle tilt. Like a lot of the things we, take for granted on a modern figure that Energon Scorponok didn't get to have. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm a little bit disappointed. I want my G1 Scorponok in small size, Marvel scale, but I'll take this for now. I like Energon Scorponok's design too. So that's an exciting release as well. A lot of Energon love. That's actually fascinating to have, like, suddenly Energon is actually getting some attention. Huh. Weirdly enough, they're not done with Armada. Keep in mind, we have not seen Demolisher or Cyclonus on any of these leak listings since they started doing new Armada toys. So it's getting a little bit weird to see them gone still. But now we're moving into Energon. A little bit disappointing. Now, final figure. And this is the one that everyone is not going to shut up about until it's released. Brand new animated Lugnut. Now, there is no other retool, right? There's no way this gets retooled. It's only going to be Lugnut. It's going to be it's got to be, and it can only be a brand new mold. My fear is that, like, while we want something that looks like what you see on screen right now, that it's going to be more G1ified, like a lot of the modern animated releases, and potentially look a little bit more realistic in vehicle mode. I don't want that. I want the big tubby jumbo jet with the gigantic engines under the wings. Like, I want proper Lugnut. But ever since he won the fan vote, I think everyone has kind of like wondered, like, where is he? Like, we proved to you that the fandom really, really likes Lugnut and would love to have a new one. Where is he? Like, Hasbro has taken their sweet time making this toy happen. But it is happening. It's coming out next year. And I feel like that's going to be like the one to have out of the entirety of Age of Evolution. So, with all that, I'm pretty sure that is the end of the leaks. We've covered a capsule line, an extension of the current line, the next main line, and Studio Series. We don't really have any other place to go at this point. So I'm pretty sure this is where the dam runs out of water. So hopefully we can get a break, absorb this, because it's been a lot. The last week has been a ton of new stuff announced, or, not intentionally announced. So let's all take it in, shall we? Let me know in the comment section below which one you're looking forward to the most. And yeah, we'll be back to just normal routine, I guess, after this, because I can't imagine anything else happening. But thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.